Good morning, everybody. It is October 2nd, 2025, and I just had to. I came across. First off, welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you for being here, and certainly I'm appreciating all the comments. I was flipping through some news yesterday and came across an interview with Joy Reid, and she made some comments that I just thought were interesting, shall we say. One of the comments she made was that her mother came from Guyana, and when she came to America, found that the United States was not the land of opportunity for people like her. Okay, that's her statement. Let's take a quick look. Joy Reid makes $3 million per year. That puts her deep inside the top 1% of all Americans in terms of income. That, in and of itself, I think, kind of shatters the idea that it's not the land of opportunity. Her mother was an immigrant who did not have much in the way of money, and now Joy Reid is a millionaire many times over. She makes about $1 million every 4 months or so. I did a little quick search, and a median wage in Guyana, where her mother is from, earns about $6,000 a year currently. So 3 million a year, 6,000 a year. 3 million a year, 6,000 a year. I'll leave it up to you to decide what your opinion of it is, but I would argue that Joy Reid is the living embodiment of the American dream. She has achieved enormous levels of success, enormous levels of fame. She's very influential. And she has done that as an African American daughter and a daughter of an immigrant. If anything, I would say she is living proof that the American dream is alive and well, and that the society is extremely welcoming to people like her, as she has been able to be elevated to the very highest rungs of it. I mean, Joy Reid is the kind of person who gets invited to senators' Christmas parties and governors' annual balls and things like that. The kind of stuff that certainly people like me do not get invited to. I don't have the kind of money or the prestige for anything like that, or anything even remotely close to it. As you all know, I'm an attorney. To give you an idea, I don't want to say anything too specific for privacy reasons, but let's just say she makes comfortably more than, note I said more than, 10 times what I do. And by the way, good for her. I don't in any way begrudge her that. She's earned her success. I hope she makes millions more in her life and goes on and successful and happy, and good for her. And I mean that sincerely. Good for her. The second thing was she had a statement talking about the current administration as being fascist, and I found how she was describing the fascism to be very interesting. She said, quote, "Before the 20th century, there were no income taxes. There were no regulations on business. You could earn as much money as you want, leave 100% of it to your children with no taxes. That's the world they want back." Guys, that's not fascism. That's not anything even close to fascism. Defining fascism is a little bit tough, because are you talking Italian fascism, German fascism, Romanian fascism? There's different versions of it. Some is, like the German type, is intensely anti-Semitic. The Italian type was actually not particularly anti-Semitic. It became that because they had to adhere to certain German policies later. But generally, nationalism is very authoritarian. It's very nationalistic. It's very much the idea that you are sacrificial to the state. It absolutely, a fascist nation has an enormous government with very high taxes and high levels of control over the economy. It's not a communist government which insists on complete control over the economy and complete control over your wealth and income, but it is well in excess of anything that you're seeing there. What Joy Reid is describing is the complete opposite of fascism. If you consider a government that had, and by the way, in the 1800s there were not income taxes. There were certainly other taxes, sales taxes, tariff duties, things like that, real estate taxes, things like that. And there were regulations on businesses, a variety of them. Certainly nothing like what we have today, but of course they had some regulations. But if you think about what is a fascist government versus the government she's describing in the 1800s, which is a low tax, low regulation, small government, that is the complete polar opposite of a fascist government. A fascist government is not going to say, do whatever you want with your businesses. They're going to say, do whatever you want with your businesses, so long as you follow all the rules that we put out, and everything you do is done toward the benefit of the state. The fascist government's going to have very high taxes because, again, it needs a very large government apparatus. It has to have a lot of enforcement mechanism, has to have a lot of control over the culture. It can't do that without a lot of money. So her statement that essentially what the Trump administration is trying to get to is a fascist government, because it would be a low tax, low regulation, at a low tax, low regulation government, and also one that allows multi generational wealth transfers without taxes, is absolutely no way, shape, or form a description of a fascist government. If you want to argue that Trump is fascist for other reasons, go right ahead, knock yourselves out. But the reasons that Joy Reid has presented are the complete polar opposite of what a fascist government would be. The second thing would be uh, is what she is describing, which I would say is a reasonably accurate description of the American economy and government and that relationship in the 1800s. Is that what Trump is trying to do now? Well, let's consider Trump is raising tariffs like crazy, which are taxes paid by American businesses that do imports. What about regulations? Every time you turn around, Trump is on Twitter demanding that Coca-Cola change the sugar they use, or we're going to take a stake in Intel, or he's going out saying, okay, other countries, you have to buy from Boeing. What you see is Trump very, very intensely messing with other businesses. He's sending his, FCC chair to go mess with ABC and say, look, you guys are going to do what we want, or else we're going to mess with your licensing, things like that. That would frankly be the fascistic side. That is a government saying, no, your business and your business and your business, they're going to do what we want. You can run them, but you're going to run them in a way that we want and that we approve of, and you're going to run them for our benefit. Not just sort of in a sense of like, no, you can't poison your workers, but in a sense of, no, if you're ABC, we're going to mess with your license if you don't put out news that is favorable to the current administration. Things like that. It is going to be done for the benefit of the government. So I would say that what she is describing is the polar opposite of the policies that Trump himself is putting in place. I'm an old school conservative. I like the free market. I am absolutely horrified by how much Trump is using the weight of government to affect businesses, and specifically for the benefit of his own administration. That to me is anathema. I could not be more opposed to it. So what Joy Reid is describing is the just not happening at all, and even if it was happening, it is the polar opposite of fascism. So yes, she could not be more wrong, and to an almost hilarious degree. And the idea that this country has not been welcoming to her when she's a multimillionaire and shakes the hands of presidents and senators. It gets interviewed. I mean, has her own news channels and gets interviewed by other big news things. That's just laughable. So okay, either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope everyone's having a good day and enjoy the current government shutdown. I'll do a video about that later. Thank you. Bye bye.